Hi there, I'm John and I'm from the Sunflower Group, and I've got with me today ACE Activities, which is a special needs group, and we're from Grange Farm. We're based at Grange Farm, just next door. And today we're at Chigwell School, and we've got three young people who have joined us today to talk about climate, because we're doing a subject on climate change and an exhibition in September. So we're working on artwork and ideas and film and videos all about climate. So we've come today really to find out what your views are. Before we start, I'll just go around the table with our names. So this is...
I'm Zoe.
I'm Dan.
Shirley Pine.
Matthew. Ricky.
Florence.
Rue.
Okay. All right, so just to start, Zoe's going to ask a couple of questions. So
I don't need to ask them that because you said.
Yeah.
What's this one? What?
What are
Oh,
your concerns about climate change?
well, this one.
Yeah.
What are your concerns about climate change?
So, would you like to go first?
Okay, well, obviously following like the 2015 Paris Agreement, like we already like the United Nations and all these organizations have set out like this 2050 agenda to reach net zero, but then that kind of like concerns me because we're sort of running out of time. It's already nearly halfway there, and it's going to be very difficult to meet this target, and we are already, I think the UK and the majority of the countries in the world are already sort of falling behind the plan, and to reduce like emission by like 60%, 60 or 40, I can't remember, but that goal for 2030 is looking a bit grim, and I'm not sure if we can actually reach that, and that really worries me a lot.
What do you think about that?
It's very concerning because, of course, it doesn't just affect us, it affects everyone that comes after us. You kind of often hear your parents say you want to leave the world a better place than how you found it, but it's kind of really important now at this moment that there's something better that we leave the world as. So,
And for me personally, I think, because I'm very passionate about politics and environmentalism, and for me, I think the greatest concern is the way that green issues are presented in politics. I think that there should be a greater consensus in general over finding solutions, and the fact that a lot of issues that I think would be instrumental towards helping these issues, such as, that 2050 target, in many countries, that is not the case. Many countries have much more, let's say, modest approaches, and I think that especially the world of politics, world leaders should agree a lot more on these targets.
And the fact that big corporation lobby groups are lobbying against this goal is also very concerning, because they obviously got more money and more power than, let's say, like some of the environmentalist groups, and so they will have more influence over policies and stuff.
And of course, since the war with Ukraine, that's accentuated problems again, hasn't it? Because of the oil and gas supplies, and now we're looking at drilling again in the North Sea and other ways of maybe fracking and finding gases through that. So, what are you thinking about that?
obviously it's a really difficult situation because it's not just the climate issue you've got the war. So I think it's important to kind of find solutions that are kind of economically but also environmentally better off for everyone.
Do you think the economics and the environment balance at the moment? They don't seem to me to do that, and I think it's very much against climate at the moment. Not because we don't want to, but because we're pressurised, to find resources, and everybody wants to live a normal life and have a car and buy food and do all the things you'd expect to do. But of course, sometimes we're going to have to sacrifice those things.
Yeah.
Because we'll be pushed into that. So, do you have a opinion
I
on
think
that?
that's especially true for countries like Germany that are incredibly dependent on Russian gas or Russian oil, And I think that as Britain, we're a bit more privileged in this sense. We're a bit more free when it comes to our choice of gas or oil, but ideally we should be making steps towards moving away from either nuclear energy that is that has health concerns around it, or gas or oil, which is harmful for the planet. And so I think the war with Ukraine is a major issue in terms of course, because it's a war, but also the environmental impact that it will have in Europe.
I think it really,
Go on.
I think it really exposed like this entire problem of our dependency on certain geographical areas for these fossil fuel supplies. And you see like now, because of the war going on between the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, like it really just shows that we can't be, there needs to be a change in our way of living and our way of using fossil fuels, because we can't continue to be so dependent and reliant on this like one country who has holds a huge majority of the resources, and it pushes us into a very difficult position when something like the war happens.
You mentioned that you were doing art and you were keen to go to maybe art college. Do you, in your artwork, do you look at climate as an issue and a way of putting that into sort of visuals?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I sort of look at it in two different perspectives. So I'm very keen on using my art as a tool for activism, and I do wish, in the pieces I produce, it can help affect people in a way to highlight the problem that our world is facing right now, and the urgency of this entire issue. But then also, in another perspective, I'm me myself, because I basically I have this passion for all creatures great and small, and also I love plants and just the nature itself. So I'm very keen on sort of exploring in my paintings, in my artworks, the relationship between human races and the environment, the natural world itself, and sort of like how do we live with plants, how our relation with animals, all of these issues I'm very keen to explore.
Are you doing any particular subjects that would reflect climate?
Not so much, unfortunately. More humanities based.
What would you study?
I study drama, English, religious studies, and classics.
What about drama? Is that
In terms of drama, we normally keep to kind of the set texts, which unfortunately don't have many kind of environmental issues or anything to do with climate in.
yeah, okay. And Dan?
So I take a lot more humanities subjects, especially history, economics, politics, and in terms of environmental issues, we explore that a lot in economics and politics. For politics, I even wrote an essay in terms of international relations on how countries, if they have a more liberal perspective, they would want to cooperate more and solve world issues, including environmental issues. And if they're more realist, like real politics, such as Russia, or even China to some extent, they'd be less willing to do so, which is obviously bad, because I personally think that a response to this crisis should be a unilateral one. And in economics, what we're studying right now is market failure, which comes with costs, environmental costs. Firm will always put profit over looking at the damage that they may be producing through their large-scale production. So I think, yes, in both subjects, environmental issues are covered, and that's really important.
Our special needs group, we're based at Grange Farm, just around the corner, and this is actually the gardening group that we've got today, and so they work quite hard. We've got a sensory garden, and Zoe, would you like to tell them a little bit about our garden, what we grow there, what we're doing there?
Carrots, beans.
Beans,
We grow
vegetables,
tomatoes,
yeah.
beetroots.
Do you reckon that's good for the environment?
Yes. Because you're growing them to eat them.
Yeah,
Not eat us, eat them.
yeah.
Eat the vegetables.
Yeah. Shirley, you're a keen gardener, aren't you?
Why?
You're always out in the garden. So Tell us about what you do there.
So you're doing, which class you're in? Which class you're in? Class.
Which class
Class,
are
I'm
you
in
in?
year 12.
Year 12. That's,
I've been,
he's a senior.
does he,
Yeah.
does he go to class?
These are all seniors. So they're all in there. Are you in your final year?
Second last.
Second last? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I
they
do gardening,
Oh yeah?
yeah. Guess what my plant's name is? Shirley, two Shirleys.
Yeah. I didn't do the names, did I? Ricky?
Ricky, yeah.
Yeah, Ricky. And Matthew?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Ricky?
Yeah.
You're doing gardening as well.
I do, yeah.
What were you doing there now?
Doing the chicken wire of you have to cut all the with us. You've got a stable, and you cut it off, and it has to don't want it. It's really sharp, and someone might caught on your skin.
Is that for putting around the vegetables
Um,
to protect them from the
yeah.
rabbits and whatnot?
Rabbits, yeah, hutch.
Yeah. Yeah. Matthew, how about you? What, do you want to tell the group what you were doing at the gardening?
What I was doing, well, I was watering the plants mostly. I was just
Yeah.
watering stuff mostly.
Yeah.
You know, the plants
And why is water important then?
well, it keeps the plants alive.
Yeah.
Because when it doesn't have enough water, they usually die.
Yeah. And what would we do without water, Matthew?
Or we'll be dehydrated.
Yeah.
What keeps
So-
us alive as well.
Yeah. So water is very important as part of our climate efforts, aren't they?
Otherwise, without it, we die.
Yeah. So, coming back to the school, have you got any particular things that you're doing towards climate to do your small part, if you like, in helping,
So,
Yeah.
or big part even? You might have grand ideas which might be very beneficial for the future.
so basically, it happens that all three of us here, we are in the promotional subgroup of our Climate Biodiversity Action Committee. So we've sort of focusing on raise awareness inside the school community, and we did. The second week after Easter break, we come back and we organize this Climate Action Week, where we sort of each day is a themed day of like our sub working committees that are working towards. We have food, biodiversity, waste, energy, and what's the transport, yeah. And we sort of like we organize activities and we encourage students inside the school to sort of think about it more and discuss it more. And right now we are also doing, so today, actually just today, like on period 4, I finished a PSHE talk given to the year 10 student on carbon footprint and to educate them about the impact they have on the planet. And previously, me and Dan, we have also done talks on zero carbon and how we can achieve that.
Yeah, especially for the zero carbon footprint, we really, in our assemblies, we really stress the fact that, yes, it's really important to do it as a school, perhaps as a country, but what we can also do personally is, reduce our own carbon footprint emission. So traveling, by foot, on foot really, if we can, using public transport as much as we can. We were also thinking about reducing our use of paper or plastic. We were thinking of counting the plastic that we use. And I think something that's really important within our school is that we use subject specialists for each of our departments. So people that focus on energy usually take subjects like physics, so they understand a bit more. And they look at the energy consumption of the school, they try to reduce it, and right now we're working with the figures of the energy consumption last year versus this year, and we're trying to see the differences, and hopefully we'll see a reduction.
This is a climate action group you've got going in school.
It's got subgroups run by sixth formers, so we're all part of the same group. We run the promotion group.
And who initiated that? Was that the students or teachers or?
Well, I think it started with like a few sixth form students who were interested in sort of forming this climate, like a climate sustainability kind of group. And then Mr. Lord gave us some support in sort of like putting it all together, and we started running it. And it's mostly student led, and we have meetings with, for example, the headmaster and the bursar, and we sort of initiate our proposals and stuff. So it's mostly just students running it.
That's good. And we've got an exhibition in September at Grange Farm with the special needs groups, their artwork, their, using recycled materials and videos and different things that we're doing, interviewing people. And you'd be more than welcome to come along to that exhibition. I'm sure we'll tell Chris when the time comes. But if you wanted to make a contribution, a piece of artwork or something that a poem or some written work, whatever it might be, you'd be very welcome to do that. Actually, that's just come to my mind now. It's not something we planned, but I think it would be really nice if the school could, we've interviewed 2 other students today, one other. So between all of you, if you made a contribution, it'd be great. If you've got the time to do it, we'd welcome that.
I really like that. I grew up locally and I learnt to ride my bike in Grange Farm, so
Oh, did you?
it's really nice.
So you knew it?
I knew it.
Yeah. It's a nice building where we're based, and because we've got the meadowlands and the walks, so it's all good. And the group goes out on the walks. We do sensory walks around the reserve.
Yeah.
Zoe,
Hello.
have you got any other questions on your list?
I think Shirley has.
Oh, Shirley.
Shirley,
Do you do any gardening here?
So that's actually a really good question. We were planning on doing it on having a meadow in our on our grounds, because we've actually got such a huge ground as a school. We're really, really lucky to do that. We don't currently do any gardening, but it's our plan.
We do. We do.
we do.
That's why we're
Yeah, we do.
Hey,
That's why hopefully we'll be coming to see you.
that's all right. I don't mind.
Yeah. You'll have to come out to the sensory gardens that they've done. It's really
Come and
lovely.
see what we do.
They've got an
How are you going
orchard.
to get them? On the minibus?
No, they can walk to it. And down the road.
Take a lovely walk.
What about?
There's a minibus outside there.
Save on the
Yeah,
end.
but that's how many bus in.
No, no, the white one.
We've got white
Oh,
ones.
the white one. Oh.
There's 3 white ones outside there.
Shirley's noticed your minibuses out there.
Ah, yes.
At the back.
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're thinking of walking because climate, you see. So
Oh, yeah.
rather than using the fuel and so on.
Yeah, good point.
Zoe, coming back to you again. What's on your list?
Excuse me. This one. How can you or your student make a difference?
How can you or your students make a difference? This is a very brief question, and then we'll wrap up.
So each of the little groups, what we wanted to start with was having small differences that everyone could get a part of, that were kind of just
Achievable.
achievable things that the school could do. So we have recycling bin. We wanted to do recycling bins. There was.
We've had a few battery recycling points
Battery
installed.
Yeah. And then also the sports centre is going to have like new bicycle racks installed to encourage cycling. And then with food, we're trying to push for more vegetarian options and a better sort of organization of the entire like the way we eat and the things that we eat. And for promotion group, we mainly focus on sort of reinstating, educating students about how, the personal little differences that we can make. For example, we can eat more sustainably, we can travel more sustainably, and it's the individual little differences that we can make that makes a big difference overall.
I think perhaps because we're part of the promotion group, perhaps we have a small bias towards this, but I'm sure we'll all agree that I think the most important thing that we can do is to spread awareness, because that's what leads on to smaller steps and then bigger actions. And I think the fact that we have, well, the younger years coming, and the fact that they know about this, they know why it's important to protect the planet and maybe take care of how much paper you use, how much you leave the light turned on, for example. I think that's the most important thing that we've done, other than the pragmatic steps that we've taken as well, spreading awareness.
And who knows, you might get a career in the future where you can make big differences. So, on that note, I'll thank you very much, and much
My
appreciated.
plant's called Shirley.
And Shirley, that's Shirley's thanks.
Say?
I said, Mum, you know the plant, what we've done,
Yeah.
you know, us two.
Yeah, out in the garden.
Yeah.
Us two, my name, it's got Shirley on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
And Shirley does her own little bit in the garden, so she's benefiting the climate along with Matthew.
It's easy for her. Sit down and walk.
Yeah,
That's what she does.
yeah,
I wanted her to say it, but not me.
yeah. No, you've done well.
You say you wore pots. Wash pots. Sound like
And I want some pots.
You wash the pots, the flower pots. So she was doing that before we came. Weren't you, Shirley?
Very important
When I
job.
told you. Yeah, it's all important. Keeps out the germs and so on, doesn't it? You need clean flower pots when you're planting out new flowers. Anyway, Shirley, we'll finish it there. So, thanks again.
Thanks
very
Much
much.
appreciated. And
Thank you.
good luck with your projects
You too.
and your work. Let's hope we see you in September.
And good work.
You too. Have fun with the gardening.
Yeah, thank you.
That's lovely. Thank you, Shirley.
Nice clap.
It's all right, John.
Thank
Nice
you,
clap,
Matthew.
guys.
Thank
Nice
you,
clap.
Sally.